Imagine a world where the smallest tractors ever built hide the biggest surprises. Today, we're counting down 10 tiny machines so unusual, so brilliantly engineered, you might not believe they actually exist. From backyard legends to forgotten mechanical oddities, each one gets stranger as we go. And trust me, number 1 will shock you. Let's dive in. Number 10, the Sears Suburban 12. We start with a small but mighty classic, the Sears Suburban 12, born in the late 1960s. This little workhorse carried a 12-horsepower Tecumseh engine, just enough to give a deep, steady rumble when you turned the key, not loud, but confident, the kind of sound that told you it was ready to work. The Suburban May 12 looked simple, but that simplicity is exactly why people loved it. A strong steel frame, a straightforward transmission, no fuss, no over-engineering, just honest American toughness. Many owners still remember the feeling of climbing onto its narrow seat, gripping the metal steering wheel, and rolling across a morning lawn as the blade hummed beneath them. Despite its small size, it could tow, plow, and haul far more than most expected. That 12 horsepower wasn't just a number, it meant real pulling power for yard work, garden rows, or even light farm tasks. It became a quiet legend of the suburban homestead, proving that a compact tractor could still carry the spirit of a full-size machine. And maybe that's why so many Suburban 12s are still running today. 50 years later, you can still find them chugging through grass and snow, refusing to retire, a tiny tractor, built with big pride. But the one in the next spot will surprise you even more. Number 9, the Kubota B6000. We moved to a tiny powerhouse from Japan, the Kubota B6000, built in the mid-1970s. This compact tractor carried a humble 2-cylinder diesel engine, usually around 12 to 14 horsepower. When it started up, it didn't roar, it clicked, chattered, and settled into that unmistakable diesel rhythm, a soft metallic heartbeat that promised steady, reliable strength. The B6000 was small enough to weave through tight garden rows, yet strong enough to till soil, pull carts, and handle real farm tasks. Sitting behind the wheel, you felt close to the ground, almost part of the field itself. The steering was light, the controls simple, the ride honest. Nothing fancy, but everything just worked. Kubota designed it with clean, square lines and a practical layout that made maintenance easy, and this little machine ended up shaping an entire generation of compact tractors. Farmers with small plots, vineyards, and orchards quickly learned that they didn't need a giant tractor, just a smart, efficient one. Even today, many B6000s are still out there, chugging away in gardens and hobby farms around the world. It's a reminder that true strength doesn't always come in a big frame. Sometimes, it arrives in bright orange, small, determined, and built to last. But the tractor waiting in the next spot will surprise you even more. Number 8, the Ford LGT 165. We meet a small tractor with the heart of a true Ford, the LGT 165. Built through the 1970s and early 80s, this little machine carried a strong 16.5 horsepower Kohler engine. When it came to life, you heard a deep, steady thrum, smooth, confident, and unmistakably American, not the sound of a yard toy, but of a real working tractor in miniature form. The LGT 165 was designed for lawns and gardens, yet it handled jobs far bigger than its size suggested. Behind the wheel, you felt the weight of its sturdy frame. The steering was solid, the seat low and centered, giving you a grounded feeling as you moved across grass, gravel, or even light snow. Hook up a mower deck, a tiller, or a small plow, and this little Ford pushed forward without hesitation. Its look was classic Ford, blue and white paint, bold lines, and a stance that resembled the brand's full-size farm tractors. That familiar styling helped make it one of the most recognizable garden tractors of its era, and over more than a decade of production, it earned a reputation for reliability. Many owners still use theirs today, proving just how well built it was. The LGT 165 wasn't just a lawn tractor, it was a tiny symbol of Ford craftsmanship, a reminder that even the smallest machine can carry a proud legacy. But the tractor at the next spot will surprise you even more. Number 7, the Cub Cadet Original. We step back to the early 1960s, where the very first Cub Cadet Original rolled onto American lawns. This tiny tractor carried a modest 7-horsepower Kohler engine, but when you pulled the starter, it gave off a warm, steady pop-pop-pop, the kind of sound that felt like a friendly handshake from a simpler time. Sitting on it was a unique experience. The seat was small, the steering wheel thin, and everything felt close, almost personal. As you eased forward, the tractor moved with a gentle pull, yet strong enough to mow, haul, and till for families who needed real help on their property. It wasn't fast, but it was certain. Every inch forward felt purposeful. Its design was clean and honest, yellow and white paint, a boxy hood, and a sturdy frame built from real steel, no plastic, no shortcuts. This was the machine that introduced the world to the Cub Cadet line, setting the standard for garden tractors for decades to come. Many collectors today still call it the little tractor that started it all. The Cub Cadet original didn't try to impress with power, it impressed with heart, doing real work with simple tools and steady strength, a true pioneer in the world of tiny tractors. But the tractor at the next spot will surprise you even more. Number 6, the Allis-Chalmers Model G. We meet one of the most unusual tiny tractors ever built, the Allis-Chalmers Model G. Born right after World War II, this machine carried a small 10-horsepower Continental engine, but here's the twist: the engine sat in the back. When it started, you heard a soft, steady hum coming from behind you, leaving the front end almost silent. It was a strange feeling, but a brilliant idea. With the engine moved to the rear, the driver had a clear view of the soil, the seedlings, and the tools mounted up front. Farmers loved that. It meant planting rows straighter, cultivating with more precision, and catching problems before they happened. Sitting on the Model G felt almost like hovering over your field, watching every leaf and every line of earth pass beneath your feet. The tractor itself was light, easy to handle, and surprisingly gentle on the soil. Its slim frame let it glide through vegetable fields, cotton rows, and small gardens without crushing plants, and thanks to its simple design, farmers could repair almost everything themselves, something that made it especially popular with small family farms. The Model G became a favorite for market gardeners and remains iconic today. Its rear engine layout was ahead of its time, and even modern compact tractors still borrow ideas from it. But the tractor waiting in the next spot will surprise you even more. Number 5, the John Deere 110.
John Deere 110, driving lawnmower.
We arrive at a true classic, the first garden tractor ever built by John Deere, the John Deere 110. When it debuted in 1963, it carried a humble 7-horsepower Kohler engine, later upgraded to 8 horsepower. But when that engine came to life, it gave off a warm, steady growl, not loud, not rushed, just that confident Deere tone that felt like home on any farm. Climbing onto the 110 was a familiar experience for Deere fans. The green and yellow paint, the sturdy steel hood, the simple levers and the wide steering wheel, everything about it felt honest and solid. As you eased it forward, the tractor moved with a smooth, grounded motion perfect for mowing tall summer grass, pulling small trailers, or clearing snow in winter. It wasn't built to impress, it was built to serve. The 110 changed everything for homeowners. It proved that a small tractor could be more than a mower, it could be a true partner for yard and garden work. Its manual lift, optional attachments, and reliable drivetrain helped it become one of the most trusted machines of its era, and because it was Deere's first entry into the garden tractor world, it set the foundation for a whole future lineup. Even today, collectors polish their 110s with pride. Many are still running, still humming, still wearing that timeless green smile. A tiny tractor, but a giant milestone in history. But the tractor at the next spot will surprise you even more. Number 4, Pasquali 986. We travel to the hills of Italy, where the Pasquali 986 earned its place as one of the toughest tiny tractors ever built. Powered by a small but determined diesel engine, often around 12 to 18 horsepower, it produced a crisp, sharp clatter that echoed through vineyards and olive groves, not the soft hum of a garden tractor, but the hard-working beat of a true mountain machine. Sitting on the 986 felt different from anything made in America. The seat was high, the steering tight, and the tractor's narrow frame gave you the sense that you were riding a mechanical mountain goat. As you eased forward, the tractor gripped the ground with surprising confidence, climbing slopes and weaving between tight rows where larger tractors simply couldn't go. Its design was unmistakably European, compact, purposeful, with that signature humpback hood and rugged axles built to survive rocky terrain. Pasquali created it for small farms spread across steep hillsides, where every step of land mattered. Because of that, the 986 became a quiet hero of orchards and vineyards throughout Italy, proof that a tiny tractor could do the work of a giant, as long as it was built with brains and strength. Farmers trusted it, collectors admire it, and even today, many Pasquali 986 machines are still crawling up and down those same hills, decades after they first fired up. But the tractor waiting in the next spot will surprise you even more. Number 3, the David Bradley Tri-Trac. We arrive at one of the most unusual tiny tractors ever put into a field, the David Bradley Tri-Trac. Built in the 1950s, this machine didn't just look different, it moved different. With one steering wheel in the front and two drive wheels in the back, the Tri-Trac balanced itself like a little mechanical tripod. When its 5 to 6 horsepower engine started, it let out a light, crisp buzz, almost like a big garden tiller finding its rhythm. Climbing onto the Tri-Trac felt almost playful. You sat directly over the center, with a clear narrow view ahead. As you nudged the throttle, the tractor rolled forward with a gentle wobble, stable, but with just enough quirkiness to remind you this was no ordinary design. And yet, out in vegetable patches and fruit rows, it shined. The single front wheel could slip into tight spaces, guiding the tractor through narrow crops where bigger machines couldn't dream of going. The simple frame, red paint, and open layout made repairs easy. Farmers appreciated that. Sears, the company behind David Bradley Tools, intended it as an affordable helper for small farms and homesteads, and for the few years it was built, it became exactly that: reliable, lightweight, and surprisingly nimble. Today, collectors hunt for Tri-Tracs because of their rarity and their charmingly odd personality, a tiny tractor with a big dose of character. But the tractor waiting in the next spot will surprise you even more. Number 2, the Ransomes MG2. We meet a tiny tractor that looks more like a miniature tank than a farm machine, the Ransomes MG2. Built in Britain before and after World War II, this compact crawler ran on steel tracks instead of wheels. When its small 5-horsepower Villiers engine fired up, it produced a sharp, metallic tack-tack-tack that echoed across the field, an unmistakable sound of early engineering grit. Climbing onto the MG2 was a whole new experience. You didn't sit high above the ground, you sat low, almost level with the soil. As you eased the clutch, the track spit into the earth with a steady, gentle pull, no slipping, no spinning, just smooth crawling over mud, sand, and soft farmland where ordinary tractors would sink. It moved slowly, but with a confidence that felt almost military. Its exposed engine, narrow frame, and open driving position made it incredibly simple to maintain. Farmers loved that during hard times, and because it was small, quiet, and nimble, the MG2 became a favorite for market gardens, greenhouses, and wartime farm production. It proved that even in difficult years, a tiny, clever machine could make a big difference. Today, seeing an MG2 in motion is like watching history crawl across the ground, compact, determined, and full of character, a reminder of how creative early tractor design could be. But the tractor at the next spot will surprise you even more. Number 1, the Vaughan Flex-Tred. At number 1, we reach the rarest, strangest, and most unforgettable tiny tractor ever built, the Vaughan Flex-Tred. For many collectors, it's a machine they've only seen in old photos, because so few were ever made. What set it apart wasn't its size, or even its power, but the way it moved. Instead of wheels, the Flex-Tred used a pair of flexible rubber treads that wrapped around its frame like soft, looping belts. When its small engine came to life, you heard a gentle whir, a smooth, almost whisper-like sound as the treads began to roll. Driving it felt different from any tractor of its era. You sat low, almost eye level with the soil. As you pushed forward, the flexible tracks floated across soft ground, mud, and sand without sinking. It didn't bounce, didn't jolt, it glided. The Flex-Tred wasn't built for power, it was built for control, for gentle work in delicate garden beds or loose terrain where ordinary wheels simply couldn't grip. Its design was simple but clever, a compact frame, narrow body, and that unusual track system that gave it a look somewhere between a tiny crawler tractor and a small mechanical creature. Because it was produced in such limited numbers, it never became a household machine, but it left a mark on early engineering creativity. Today, spotting a real Flex-Tred is like finding a rare treasure from another age. It stands at number 1 not because of strength, but because of imagination. Proof that even the tiniest tractor can leave a giant legacy. And there they are, 10 tiny tractors that proved greatness isn't measured in size, but in heart. Each one carried the spirit of hard-working farmers, steady hands, honest labor, and a quiet pride that shaped fields all around the world. These little machines reminded us that even the smallest tools can leave the deepest marks. Which one spoke to you the most? And have you ever seen a tiny tractor in real life? Share your thoughts below, your story might be the seed for our next video.